Greetings everyone. So this will be the remainder of the section which introduces matrix, matrix addition and matrix multiplication. Okay. So now we will concern us with a special type of matrix. This is known as identity matrix with a little subscript n. Okay. So what is this matrix? Okay. So we will consider that for an identity matrix with the subscript n. Okay, first of all it has the same number of rows and columns. It will have n number of rows. Okay, and it will have n number of columns. Now this is the first thing. Okay, it is a square matrix. You can say that if row represents height and column represents width, right? So it has the same dimension. So you could say it is a square, kind of like it, the numbers are arranged in a square, right? So that's where the name square matrix comes from, same number of rows and columns. So now what kind of values are a part of this matrix? Okay, so along the diagonal elements, as you can see, diagonal elements, if you consider this particular diagonal, okay, it will have the value 1 in the diagonal, okay, and all other values will be 0. Okay, now we we have introduced the concept of diagonal. Okay, so what are diagonal entries of a matrix? Okay, so consider this particular matrix. Okay, 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, so diagonal matrix, the main diagonal of a matrix is are the entries which have the same index column and same row column. Okay, so this is the first, this is the element in the first one, first column. This is the element in the second row and second column. And if there was a third row, let's say 7, 8, 9, then this would have also been a part of the main diagonal of a matrix. Okay. So in case of an identity matrix, okay. So let's see. This is an identity matrix. Okay. Consider a, one of the identity matrix. As you can see, that element in the first row, first column is 1, second row, second column is 1, and third row, third column is 1. So all the elements in the main diagonal are equal to 1, and rest elements in all the other positions are 0. So this is I3. Why? Because it has 3 rows and 3 columns. So this is what an identity matrix is. Now the question comes, why are identity matrices so important in case of linear algebra? Okay, so this introduces us to this property. So if we say that A is a matrix with m rows and n columns, then the identity matrix times times any matrix A is equal to A, and A times identity matrix is also equal to A, right? Now you must be wondering, why is there Im on the left and in on the right? Okay, so in order to explain this, what we do is we recall how matrix multiplication was defined, right? So if this is a matrix with m rows and n columns, okay, so if I'm multiplying any matrix from the left of A, right, so the number of columns in this I matrix should be equal to the number of rows in the A matrix, right? So it should have m columns. Now I know that identity matrix is a matrix which has the same number of rows and columns, right? So it is sufficient to say what are the number of columns in the identity matrix. We will automatically know what is the number of rows in the identity matrix because they are the same. Okay, so that's why an identity matrix with m rows and m columns is multiplied with A, which gives us A. Similarly, when we are multiplying any matrix to the right, so the number of columns here should be equal to the number of rows here. And since we know that this identity matrix has n rows, then automatically it will have n columns. So we only give one subscript. Okay, so this is why, and this is equal to the A matrix. Okay, so uh, this is the property of the identity matrix, and this is the reason why it is called identity matrix, because anytime it is multiplied by a matrix, it gives the same matrix as the answer. Okay, So this is the multiplication with identity matrix property. Similarly, matrix has other properties like associativity, right? So if we consider A, B, C, and in order to compute this product, we first compute B into C, and then whatever we get, we multiply it with A. That is the same as if we compute AB first and then multiply it by C. And as you can see that you can do this multiplication. Why? Because the number of columns in B is equal to the number of rows in C. Similarly, you can also perform this multiplication. Why? Because the number of columns in A is same as the number of rows in B. Now, is it possible to compute a multiplication A into BC? Let's see. Okay. So B is N by P and C is P by Q, right? And when you multiply B into C, the dimension of the result will be, just get rid of this, it will be N into Q. And since A is M by N matrix, it has N columns, and similarly B into C product will have N rows. So again this matrix multiplication will be defined, and you can verify the same for the dimension of AB and the dimension of C, and you will see that the same property will hold. The number of columns in AB will be equal to the number of rows in C, and hence the multiplication will be defined. So we can see that the matrix multiplication is associative. Similarly, with distributivity, when given appropriate dimensions, right? When the dimension of A and B is equal and the dimension of their sum is compatible with the dimension of C, we will see that it will be equal to AC plus BC. And similarly, multiplication can also get distributed over addition. So AC plus AD. So what is the difference between the first distributive property and second distributive property? The difference is simple. In the first case, the addition is on the left and the multiplication is on the right. Okay, so the right multiplication gets distributed, and in the second case, the multiplication happens from the left, and even then the multiplication gets distributed among addition. Okay, so this is the difference between the two. So it is distributive from either side. And why am I talking about left and right distributivity? Because in general, matrix multiplication is not commutative. As you might have known, in the case of numbers, 2 into 3 is always equal to 3 into 2, right? Matrix multiplication is commutative. It doesn't matter in which order we are doing the multiplication, but in case of matrix multiplication, this is not the case. Okay, as you can see in this example, they illustrate this fact very well. They have a 2 by 3 matrix and they have a 3 by 2 matrix. When we have AB, the dimension of the resultant matrix will be R, which is 2 rows and 2 columns. And if we compute BA, the dimension will be 3 rows and 3 columns. And we can see that a matrix with 2 rows and 2 columns can for sure be not equal to a matrix with 3 rows and 3 columns, right? So we see that matrix multiplication is not commutative. Okay, if you find even one counterexample, then obviously it's not commutative, right? So this is what I wanted to cover as a part of this video.